This is Valley News Live at noon.
Americans are preparing to mark 20 years since the 9/11 attacks. As the nation prepares to remember the lives lost, we want to recognize our own heroes here in the Valley. In the early chaos of 9/11, Fargo native Al Marchand was fighting for his life and the lives of 65 passengers on board United 175. Marchand was a 1975 Shanley High School graduate and a longtime police officer in New Mexico before taking a job as a flight attendant for United. He was working Flight 175 that took off from Boston en route to Los Angeles before hijackers breached the cockpit. The plane's transponder was on and air traffic controllers saw the plane diverting to New York. It hit the South Tower at 9:06 in the morning and was the only crash that day that was televised around the world. Al Marchand was 44. There's another Fargo connection to that awful day. Among the F-16 pilots who were called to protect the U.S. Capitol on 9/11 were 3 pilots from the Fargo-based Happy Hooligans, the North Dakota Air National Guard. They were stationed at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia at the time. After 9/11, an aviation artist was commissioned to paint Hooligan Viper 926, which was piloted by Mayor Dean Erkman of Fargo. He's a shot of the painting, which is on permanent display at the Pentagon. The Grand Forks Fire Department and Air Force Base are hosting a joint open house to commemorate September 11th. On Saturday, there will be live demonstrations and tours of their everyday equipment for the community to see. The community will get the chance to meet with their local and military firefighters, along with the mayor. The Grand Forks fire chiefs want people to know that firefighting is more than just putting out fires. They especially want people to understand the importance of 9/11, especially remembering it 20 years later.
It was an event that impacted our whole nation, and the important part to remember about 9/11 is what happened afterwards. We came together as a nation. We reconstructed New York City. We came together and as a nation, and I think in the end we persevered.
The program will begin at 9/11 in the morning on Saturday with a moment of silence for the 9/11 victims. The next 2 hours will be a series of demonstrations with high-angle rescue at 9:30, hazmat at 10, sprinkler system at 10:30, and auto extraction at 11. These full details can be found on our website, valleynewslive.com. Now here are some more events happening around the Valley starting tomorrow, that is. The Fargo Public Library is hosting a 9/11 poster exhibit to showcase the history. It features the history through personal stories of people who witnessed and survived the attacks. The event is all day tomorrow and is free. Bonanzaville in West Fargo is marking the day with a Veterans Patriot Day 5K and 10K tomorrow. Registration starts at 7 in the morning and the race starts at 8:30. The Fargo AmVets is holding a program tomorrow to recognize the fallen from 20 years ago. It starts at 9:25 in the morning, which is about the time one of the hijackers contacted air traffic controllers for the first time that day, alerting them to the attacks that would happen within minutes. Fargo AmVets is located at 1001 First Avenue South. And Fergus Falls Police are hosting a walk of remembrance on Saturday. It's to honor the fallen heroes and brave Americans who endured this day 20 years ago. The walk will start at 8:46 in the morning, which is the time the first World Trade Center was hit. Now, if you're up for a road trip this weekend, you might want to check out the 9/11 cemetery at the International Peace Gardens on the U.S.-Canadian border near Bottineau, North Dakota. It's happening at 10 in the morning tomorrow near the Gardens 9/11 Memorial. The Peace Gardens has a sculpture made up of pieces from the World Trade Center demolition. In 2010, each state received iron remnants from the collapsed towers to use as memorials to that day in history. And if you go tomorrow, organizers ask that you be in place and your seats at 9:45 prior to that ceremony. Well, we got an early taste of fall weather this week, but those summer-like temperatures are creeping back in. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green, and happy Friday, Lisa.
Good afternoon. We are looking at some increasing temperatures and winds that have been brisk at times. Right now you can see our flag just kind of relaxing there after waving for much of this morning. And we're seeing some numbers that are on the rise. Jamestown, we were talking about this during the Valley today, about how at the noon hour we could be at 80 already in Jamestown, and we're right there with some sunny skies. Fargo's at 72 with sunshine. Grand Forks a few more clouds there at 75. It's 79 in Langdon, 73 in Fergus Falls, and Bemidji is at 74. So warming things up here today. A look at our visible satellite picture. You can see some clouds streaming through Grand Forks. We just mentioned there's some clouds there. That's a view of the clouds from above. There's also a hint of some wildfire smoke passing through as well. That's going to be more likely to our western and southern counties here this afternoon, and we'll talk more about that coming up. But temperatures are going to be warm today. We're looking at some 80s around the valley, warmest in the west, where we're going to likely be into the upper 80s, and to the east, right around that 80-degree mark. So one more day of summertime temperatures, and then we're right back to fall as we head into the weekend. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Lisa. Well, new for you at noon, a group of siblings missing out of St. Cloud were found safe. The Starnes County Sheriff's Office had been looking for the kids since Saturday night. They found the children in St. Cloud yesterday and spoke to their parents. They learned that the kids were in North and South Dakota before returning home. The Sheriff's Office is still investigating, and no other details are available at this time. Damage is estimated at $9,500 after a dump truck fire near Crookston in the Northern Valley. The Polk County Sheriff says around 8 last night, a tire of the utility truck caught fire as it was being pulled behind a dump truck. No one was hurt, but the utility truck is totaled. Well, Minnesota State University Moorhead shares with Valley News Live their 10-day unofficial headcount with enrollment. It shows that the college is seeing an overall decrease with undergraduate and graduate students, stating that they are not surprised. The official headcount shows that the college is down almost 500 students, and that's compared to fall of 2020. International students has also taken a hit with losing over 150 students. The only increase comes from diversity with a percentage of 14.35, a 5-year high for the college. We have a couple more traffic alerts for you this afternoon. Starting today, southbound 42nd Street South in Fargo will be down to 1 lane between 13th and 15th Avenues. This one will be short-lived. The construction closure is only expected to be in place for 1 day. The other lane reduction is coming up first thing Monday. That's also in South Fargo. 45th Street South will be down to 1 lane in each direction between 23rd and 26th Avenues for utility project. The lane closures should last about 2 weeks. Well, coming up at noon, if you refuse to wear a mask on a plane, you'll have to pay up. Beginning today, the fines are even steeper. And it's finally Friday and the end of the work week. We have weather up next to Plan Your Day with meteorologist Lisa Green.